August 13th, 2021, they left, my brother Marc Fogel and his wife Jane left for Moscow for their final year of teaching. This was their they were planning to retire. And my brother and his wife had been teaching there for the 9 previous years. They loved Moscow, went to the ballet. It's very cosmopolitan. It's a beautiful city. They loved living there. Throughout those 9 years, my brother had returned periodically and sometimes suddenly for surgeries in the United States. He has a debilitating degeneration in his back from injuries from childhood. And Pennsylvania, where my brother lived, where they had their residency in the United States, had legalized marijuana 2 years prior to that, and so he was relieved to have a medical marijuana card, and took 17 grams with him into Russia. Even before he was able to claim it, he was picked up. Then he was taken into a detention center in the airport where he phoned me. And they allowed him, I'm sure for sourcing, to keep his phone for, he probably had his phone and computer for the next 24 hours. And we started to scramble, and my sister-in-law was taken back to the apartment by a driver, and she then stayed into October in Russia, and then she came home, and my brother was there alone in the CISO system, which is the pre-trial detention centers in Russia. Lefortova is a famous one. It's where Evan Gershkovich was kept. So he was in and out of there, moved around quite a bit. And then in June of 2022, he was put on trial. And prior to that, in February of 2022, Brittany Griner was also picked up for the same situation. At trial for 17 grams of medical marijuana, of which we had a stack of medical documents sent over for the trial, he was given 14 years in a penal colony 5 hours north of Moscow, which is where he is now. And we have been, for going on our 4th year now, trying to get him out. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. There's lots of twists and turns, lots of work with Steve Daines and John Tester, as well as the senators from Pennsylvania and a whole number of people. My mother has spoken to Donald Trump personally, actually prior to him being shot, which was a crazy day. We're from Butler, Pennsylvania. So, but we've had, he was designated as wrongfully detained, which is a very important step in this process, in October. And we're hoping that he will be swapped soon. There are a number of people there, and I think he's definitely the oldest and the most infirm among them, so he's 63 now. Oh, we speak to him very regularly. He calls through the embassy, from the penal colony to the embassy, and the embassy routes the call back to the United States. So he calls his family members pretty regularly.
I think.
It's an incredibly stressful time, and it's you have to manage day to day under that. So plans usually get delayed. You know, we're constantly making adjustments to things in case we hear from him, in case, you know, we're really hoping that he's going to be out in the next 4 months. We have lawyers that are working pro bono, but not everything has been free. So yeah, there's been a lot of resources poured into this as well. So we really can't take our eye off the ball. We're really pushing to finish the job, and it would be great if it were under the Biden administration, because that would mean sooner, but it's likely that it will happen under the Trump administration. Marc has spent a lot of time here, so he is a great appreciator. We were really hoping he was going to be here for Christmas.